Bo Burnham is a stand-up comedian and filmmaker from Massachusetts, America. His career started 14 years ago by uploading himself to YouTube playing and singing silly songs. The songs being crude and dark, and his clever lyricism making him stand out with his wits, making him one of the first people to ever become famous by YouTube. But now in 2021, Bo Burnham has decided to make a comeback at stand-up comedy by producing, writing, editing, shooting, and doing everything by himself in his new stand-up special on Netflix, Inside. I'll drop the act now, because this special, it doesn't deserve this artificial setup, because it's just brutally honest, and I want to be brutally honest about it and how it made me feel. So, I just want to start off by saying that I am incredibly anxious to do this, to just sit in front of a camera and talk. I'm gonna try just freeball this and just talk about my honest opinion with the help of my notebook, which I've jotted down some notes and ideas that help me articulate it. So, Bo Burnham, I don't even know how to describe him. He's not quite a stand-up comedian because he's just too honest and he likes to challenge what we're watching, what we're consuming. In his first special, Words, which I don't even know the year it came out, it's incredibly hard to find, he challenged the idea of comedy and what comedy is. You know, clever wits, making people think about it, and of course the standout song from that being Art is Dead, which, 20-year-old cynicism shines through. And then his next special, What? It's theatrical, but you get to know him a bit better by some of the acts he puts on. And then his last special, Make Happy, is him just being brutally honest. Him saying that performing no longer makes him happy because it makes him incredibly anxious, and he started having panic attacks on stage, which is why he quit. And he addressed the audience saying that that's why he quit. And I remember when I first started watching it, What and Make Happy, I didn't understand it. I thought, you've such an opportunity and you're just blowing it like that, but I genuinely just didn't understand it at the time. And as I grew and started going into filmmaking, as you can see by the quality, the lights, the camera, the everything, that why am I choosing to use my phone to talk about this special? And I just wanted to take a step back, because one thing that Inside made me realize is you don't need the best of the best of the best to produce something as special as it. In the show, he uses literally consumer grade equipment. His camera is a Lumix S1H, mind you, that's a bit of an expensive camera, it's about $2,500. He uses an assortment of lenses. For his audio, he uses the Scarlett 2i2 audio interface, which is like, in Ireland anyway, €100. He uses a Rode Podcaster mic, which is about, I don't know, and a standard Shure mic. And mind you, his lighting setup was a lot more extravagant than mine. I only have a handful of lights, but he did it all himself, which made me very interested in it, because I remember last month when he teased it, he was just talking, the synopsis was just, this was shot, performed and edited by Bo Burnham during the pandemic. And it had me curious, like, what's he going to do? Is he going to do what I'm doing right now and just sitting in front of a camera talking into a microphone? But no, he goes so much, he does, it just, I don't even know how to describe it, because it just took me by surprise. And this year I wanted to start my own projects where I can be myself and create my own things. And I apologize if this is a little bit all over the place, because I'm not really doing anything scripted. I have notes here, and I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent at times. Like, it's not necessarily a review of Inside, it's just how it made me feel and what I could relate to or project myself onto, but this year I wanted to jump out of my comfort zone because, like most of us, the pandemic kind of just took it all out of us, and I was losing my drive, my passion for filmmaking, and I was just limiting myself to want to make short films and not challenge anything else like this. And I think it was January I launched this entire thing. And being brutally honest, it's not going as well as I'd want. I don't have as much stuff as I'd like to do done. Like, the first big project that I teased was my Hotline Miami project, and I'm still in the midst of writing that 2 months after that teaser trailer came out, but that's just life getting in the way. But the opening song is like how I felt when starting this project. It's him sitting in a room, he looks oppressed, just a light on him, and he's talking about his feelings towards the pandemic, how, like, he says, like, oh, if you told me a year ago that we'd be all stuck inside, I would have just laughed at you, but now here we are. And instead of just sitting in it, he decides to make a new special by literally getting up, writing, getting back into it. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to start making stuff for me, which is what more or less is what he wanted to do at the start of it. He felt like he was in the place where he could make content again, so he did. And I was just stuck inside my little box that if I can't make short films, then I'm just not going to do anything. Even though I've spent the last 3 years buying all this equipment, the camera, tripod, the lights, the whole setup here, this gimbal here that never gets any use, like everything here, and I have a whole assortment of other things here that I've spent the last 3 years procuring and working my ass off to get, so I could make whatever I want. Then of course the pandemic happened, and I couldn't make anything because, well, I can't be around people. So I was just losing my interest in filmmaking. And then just out of nowhere, I was like, I don't want to just do films. I just want to make. I want to create things. I want to just put my ideas, thoughts, and everything into the world. And it's been a slow start, but I wanted to broaden myself and push new things and challenge myself, more importantly, because I was too comfortable. I knew how to make films, but I didn't know how to execute them. I had the tools and the toys I needed, but I didn't know how to use them properly. So since the start of 2021, I have been just trying to push myself to more or less use all of my tools at my expenditure. And it's been tough. Literally, like Bo, stuck in this room, just testing and playing with the lights, messing with the camera, and trying to better myself because I wanted to produce. And inside kind of gave me some comfort in knowing that I wasn't the only one. Even though he started it back in January 2020, that I wasn't the only one just trying to keep going. Is the audio still going? I hope it is. I am not monitoring this at all, and I hope it's recording, but we shall see when I'm done. But anyway, like I said earlier, he did it all with consumer grade equipment, and to me that's inspiring because you'd think watching it there was a whole studio behind him, a whole crew around him, messing with all the lights, doing all the things, the camera zoom ins, the music, but no, it was all him from his 14 years of experience from doing stand-up and then his time while being a filmmaker. And I don't know, it's just, it created that little fire in me again, because I still work throughout all of this pandemic, and most days I'm up at 6 a.m. and by the time I come home I'm already ready for bed, and I don't want to sit at my desk and I don't want to write, which is really heartbreaking. And I'm a bit of a procrastinator, and I work myself into the ground. So it's all very, very unhealthy. But he just experimented with the entire special. Like the first song, there's a lot of it's about, you know, him and his comedy affecting the world, him being a white guy. Satire on just how people, especially white people, have reacted to all the things that have happened, Black Lives Matter, the Palestinian conflict, just how they've jumped into it. But it was over the top. It wasn't him just sitting in his room. There was lots of different camera shots, different things, different gags, visual gags. And compared to the rest of the piece, it's very, very jarring. But it's just him experimenting with it and just seeing what sticks. But the first, I'm going to say 40 minutes of it are just standard Bo Burnham comedy. You know, a song about him FaceTiming his mother. Just, you know, just typical things of him saying like, oh, she's covering her phone. Oh, hi, Dad. And then the one with the sock, which is pretty much, again, a jab at white people saying like, oh, why do you get involved in everything in white woman's Instagram, which is just making fun of just the stereotypical girl on their Instagram. But the part where it started hitting me was, I'm going to say it was about the 40-minute mark. And he's just sitting alone in his room, and he has a clock beside him right here. And he goes on saying that, like, one of his goals was to finish the special when he turned 30. And then he drops the bombshell that, like, oh, in 1 minute, I'll be turning 30. And you could see the disappointment in him because he failed to reach his goals of making the special. Because he was just working and working on it. It was the only thing he could do during the pandemic. But I've had days where I've sat at that desk working on projects thinking these should have been done a long time ago, but unfortunately life just gets in the way and you can't do anything and everything you want to do. And I've sat there just looking at my screens thinking like, why can't I do this? What's stopping me from doing this? But it's just, I don't like coming up with excuses as to why I'm not creating. Like I said, I've worked 3 long years to get to this point, to have all the equipment and tools and more that I need. But yeah, I can't push myself to do it. And as it goes on, the songs get a bit more darker. There's a lot more shots of him, like a haunting one where he's sitting there because he has a projector. That's one of the main lighting sources and storytelling devices, we'll say, for the piece. And he's just sitting there staring at something with, I don't know how to describe the expression, not hatred, not sadness, not envy, not pity, but he's looking at a video of himself when he was about 14, 15, sitting in his room happy, just singing his songs. And he's just sitting there staring at it, reflecting. And it was haunting. And there was a lot more of those shots as it went on. And shots of him being honest with himself. Of course, he had the funny songs in between, like Welcome to the Internet, which is a jab at the internet, but then it kind of dwindles after that. There's a moment where he's sitting there struggling to talk into the microphone. And he can't get out of him saying that he's been working on the special for a year. And he loses his cool, drops the mic, and gets so incredibly frustrated with himself. Throws his mic away, pushes the lighting equipment out of the way, and stops the recording. And that frustration, it hit a bit too close to home for me. And it hit a bit too close to home for me because I don't know what I am in regards to all this. I don't know if I'm just lazy, if I'm unmotivated, but how can I be unmotivated if I've spent so long trying to get to this point? But it also helped me with my insecurity of creating and putting myself out there. that it takes time to produce the things you want. Like, one of my biggest frustrations is people think it's just turn on a camera and record, but there's so much more to it. So much more. Like, even this lighting setup that last night I spent about 2.5 to 3 hours messing with, just for a little gag of me acting like a reviewer, sitting there with the fancy lighting setup, making it look cinematic, just to sit here to talk to a phone. And it's honest, it's brutally honest, and I just want to be honest with myself and what I want to make. I want to make, but I want to make the best thing I want. I don't want to just throw anything out there, even if it takes me months and months and months. Like the big project, my Hotline project, like there's going to be so much production value that go into that, and the script keeps evolving and changing, and I keep taking away parts, and I keep working and working and working and hyper fixating on it, but I'm never happy with it. Never happy with it, and that frustrates me because I was expecting this project to be done by now. And the truth is, I don't know when it'll be done. And even last month, May, that just went by, it was Mental Health Awareness Month. And I teased the project on my Instagram about me being introspective with myself, me addressing future me, asking how it is. And I've had it written, completed, for a while now. But I've just been so anxious to make it, so anxious of just putting myself out there, that it's just sitting there. Even though I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Another thing that was great about Inside was he didn't just show the songs, he didn't just show all the best parts. He showed the hard parts with him struggling, and that's the thing a lot of people don't see in this. They don't see me sitting in here struggling, unmotivated days where I just want to quit because it's hard. Doing all this by yourself is hard. Like I said, I don't know how the audio's going. I'm not monitoring it. I don't know how I look on this, but I don't care at the moment because I just want to be honest. And I don't know. I want to achieve that level of honesty, and that I can show on my work that it's just, I'm not artificial, that I want to do this. I've worked hard enough to get here, but like, a lot of people don't see that. A lot of people don't understand the hardships, the hours I've had to work, the fucking blood, sweat and tears I've had to put through to get through this. Like, I've been working since I've been 18, and I guarantee you about 60 to 70% of what I've earned since then I've put all into this. Like, that's how driven I am to do this. But I can't force myself to write. I can't make myself write, and that frustrates me beyond belief, because I know I have the potential. I know I have the potential, but I just can't do it. And it frustrates me. Like, I frustrate myself. And I don't even know if this is just about Bo Burnham's Inside or me at this point, but I don't care. I am just being honest at the moment. That I don't know if I am just lazy or whatnot. Do I have anything here? I mean, there's nothing much to talk about. I more or less said. But one of my big problems is I am too ambitious with myself. I try to do these big ideas that take a team of 5 to do, and I overwhelm myself. I get stressed, and I get so anxious. Like, even sitting here, I'm dreading looking back at the footage. I'm dreading looking at myself sitting here, and I'm dreading looking at myself there, and I'm dreading hearing myself on that. But it's a part of the process, and I have to get through it. And I don't even want to look at that. I'm just going to talk. That I have goals, I have plans, but I can't I can't make myself want to do them. Like, even here. This was my week goal that I managed to do, where I made a trailer for myself highlighting my equipment, and I'm surprised I actually did it. But in his final song, the last part becomes a medley of some of like the key lyrics that stuck out in all of his songs. In his songs Welcome to the Internet especially, that have it written up there, but I don't think you can see it, but he says, all I ever wanted was a little bit of everything all of the time. And I too want a little bit of everything all the time. I want to make things, I want to be the best, I want to be in charge. I want my name on it. I want it to be my best work. I want it to be a representation of me. I want a bit of everything. But I can't do the hard part and just do it. Like, I tell people that I'm working hard, and I am. Like, I spend hours upon hours upon hours messing with my camera, messing with my lights. I don't want to sound like I'm repeating myself, messing with the gimbal, but I just can't force myself to make. And it's so much worse because I only feel like myself that I have a handful of people actually supporting me. Because there's this thing in filmmaking where people are just so egotistical, where I know so many people that say they want to be filmmakers, people I've met in the past, say they want to be filmmakers, but are too scared to pursue it because of how daunting it is, but yet they'll critique everyone else trying. Like, I know that there's plenty of people who lurk on my accounts, seeing, oh, look what he's doing, even though I want to work with as many people as possible. I've reconnected with a lot of people, but it's just so unmotivating feeling like there's barely anyone there, and the people who you thought would actually support you, no, couldn't care less. Even though I've worked so hard. So hard. But yeah, Bo Burnham's Inside is probably one of the best things I've seen in the last year. I've recommended it to a few people, and the people who have watched it and got back to me said they enjoyed it, and that they understand some of the inside of what it's like to do the things I want to do in regards to filmmaking. So like, they understand how long it takes. Writing can take months, and then planning and setting up everything could take days, and then shooting could take hours, and then editing can also take days as well. Like, it's a puzzle that takes so long that even this, I'm going to try and make it as unedited as possible, but this is I don't know if I'll make anything like this again. I guess I just needed to vent, and I feel like I wanted to use this as an opportunity to, because Bo Burnham, he inspired me to speak out. I wanted to do this, which is the first time in a long time I've actually wanted to do something. He put himself out there. In Make Happy, he said that, like, he was very insecure about his body. Whereas now, in Inside, he's standing there half naked, showing off his body, not caring. But then again, that's because maybe there isn't an audience there, but he's putting himself out there. And he's showing every side of it. The sides where he's happy, the sides where he's not, the sides where he's frustrated, and the sides where he's just having a ball. And that's what I want to do. Like, even doing this right now is so uncomfortable. Like, you don't know how warm it is in this room with these lights. Holding this microphone, just talking, and hearing your voice. Like, I'm so glad I can't see myself right now. Like, I can kind of see myself on that one, but not on my phone. But I don't even know how to end this. Like, do I end it in here? I've so much I want to say, but does anyone care? I know people do care, but like, I don't know. I have a lot more to say, but I don't want to sound like I'm repeating myself. I'd recommend you check out Bo Burnham's Inside if you want an insight to what it's like to be creative, because being creative isn't as easy as it seems. I have friends that are artists that struggle to want to create the things they do because like they're just burnt out, fatigued, real life getting in the way, but they still do it. And that's what I want to do. I still want to do it during my bad days. That I can make things that I'm proud of, but then look back on it and go, I can do so much better. Like this time in 1 year, I want to have all the projects that I plan to do finished and looked on with pride. I want to look back on myself with pride to say that I actually did it. But you know, I'm an incredibly anxious person. I'm very introverted. Even me doing this is making me just cringe of putting myself out there, letting people see me when I don't want to be seen at all. Like that's another internal struggle people don't understand. That it's not as easy as just put yourself out there. Like I envy the people who can just upload photos of themselves to Facebook, to Instagram, just because they can. I can't. I can barely upload photos of myself. Because again, I'm so insecure what people think about me. But that's just a problem that I have to sort out. And I want to do it. I want to create. I want to make the best things I can. I want to make something like Inside and say that I did it all. That I did that. I remember one of the best compliments I got was in college when my friend and I, we worked on a project. And oh, I reached the recording limit on that camera. 1 second. Sorry about that. Ugh. One of the best compliments I got was just someone asking us if we used 2 cameras for our short film. And it just made me so happy that like it wasn't cinema what we made. It was dumb, but it was fun. We all had a blast. I haven't unlisted on my channel, but I'll leave the link in the description for people to check out what I made a couple of years ago. Like, it isn't my best work, but it's something I look back on from time to time. And just that compliment has stuck with me. Someone saying, like, did you use 2 cameras and we only used the 1? That's what I want to do. I want people to think that I'm better than I am. Not to sound egotistical, but that I can do so much more. And that's why I want to make a few things to say that I can make things by myself, that I can do the camera by myself, that I can do sound by myself, just do this by myself. And I'm getting there. The drive is coming back. Just seeing him put himself out there makes me want to put myself out there. And that's been the goal of this project. But life has been getting in the way, unfortunately. And just sitting here looking around, I have done a lot. I have gotten to a point. Like, it took me 3 years to start this journey. 3 years of working jobs I'm not too fond of, but then finding people along the way and then reconnecting with people along the way who do support me. And I have a lot more that I want to show. A lot more. And I'm going to do it. Like that journal that I threw away a while ago, that's been a big help. Like I had an idea for the first feature script I want to write, and now it's a reality thanks to that. Like Bo Burnham, he's an incredibly anxious person. Like the reason why he quit, like I can't even remember now, was because he was having panic attacks on stage. But he bettered himself and he made one of the best bits of media I've seen. And he put himself out there, and now it's being revered. People are loving it. Some people, they're not going to like it because they're expecting comedy, but so if you're a content creator, an artist, a musician, a filmmaker, there's something in this that you can relate to. I recommend it to any artist who's ever had a bad day, who's just wanted to quit, and just see someone go through the motions, someone who said he was never going to return, and come back swinging. And that's, in my opinion, what an artist is. Someone who puts themselves out there, whatever piece of art they make, putting it out there for everyone to see, no matter if they're happy, sad, or anything. And that takes a lot of bravery. like, I know this is going to be longer than usual. Not a lot of people are going to get to this point. I'm just going on a tangent. But that's what I want to be. I want to be an artist. I want people to look back on my work. I want to look back at my work and be like, I did that. But yeah, I just want to create. Oh, that was weird. But yeah, I just want to say thank you for watching this. This was... I may not look it, but I am shaking on the inside doing this. This is me trying to be honest. That, like, you know, that I can show off what I'm capable of. Like, even with this, I like how the setup looks. Like, I'm proud of this. That I was able to do this. Even though the joke was that, you know, I was sitting there. But, you know, Burnhams inside, it's... shows you that, like, no matter what situation you're in, that you can just make anything you want. Like, that's... I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I want everything to be right. So I challenge myself with this to just do it on my phone. But thank you for watching. And I hope to make something again soon. Maybe that project I was talking about. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. Bye bye.